Hi everyone. We continue on building on our React Native e-commerce mobile application, and today we are going to see we are going to continue on showing the code. And for that, this is the configure Firebase file. This is where I implement all the configuration relative to Firebase. Here you can see the, the app object, the database, the storage object, and the auth object. This is the object I'm going to use in the application, and for that I make a configuration. I'm using it in the admin dashboard and in the mobile application. So there's a configuration for the web application and a configuration for the mobile application, and this is it. I test if there are already an app that is initialized. I will just get the app. I just initialize the app from the configuration, and I will test if I'm on the web browser. I will initialize the auth according to the web browser initialization, and if not, I will initialize it according to the React Native initialization mode. You can check it in the documentation to see more details. And after that, I get the Firestore instance and the storage instance from Firebase. And if the app is not initialized, if the app is initialized, I will just get the app. I will get the authentication object, the Firestore object, and the storage object. My bad. First, like I said, if the app is not initialized, so this time it's if the app is initialized, and I'll create the object with all those data, and I'll return it for using my application. So this is it for the configure Firebase Firebase file. And after that, let's go to the store folder. In my store folder, this is where I handle the global state of my applications. So for the admin dashboard and for the mobile application. So for the auth file, I just initialize it with an object, the user object and the set user object. You can check Zosten documentation to have more details. So this is the auth store, which will return the user and a function to modify that user. It's the same thing for the category store. It's an object. I return an object with the categories and the set categories object. And for the global store, this is where I handle the operations relative to loading. So each time I fetch some information, or each time I need to load some data from the server. So this is it. This is the one I'm going to use to implement a loader in my application. And this is for the order store. It's the same thing. And for the product store, it's an object that returns the products and the set products to modify it. And in the index.js file, I export all those elements. So this is it for the store object. Let's go to the API file, API folder. And this is where I handle all the API calls to the server and to Firebase. And firstly, let's check the auth file in the API folder. So in the auth file, I handle the sign in, the sign up, and the update profile operations. So this is it. So here we have the update profile. So if let's explain it a bit. For the sign in, and just there's the I just create the I just use the Firebase function sign in with email and password. And if it's okay, I'll get the user data from the database using the sign in user ID. If there is an error, I return the error. For the sign up, it's the same thing. I use the create user with email and password function from Firebase. And after that, I create a user in the database with the user data. And this is for the update profile, where I take the user ID and the profile data, and I call the update doc function from Firebase. So this is it for this file. For the categories, I have the get categories function. To retrieve categories from Firebase, I have the get category. I can add a category, I can update a category, and I can delete a category. So this is for this file. So if you want, you can pause and copy that code if you want, and you can check, or you can check the source code on the link in the video description. You can check the source code and download it there. So let's move to the next file. This is where I handle the image upload to Firebase storage. So this is the function that will help me do that. When I upload the product to Firebase, so this is the function that I use to upload the product image. So for the orders items, so it's the same thing. I can get the items from the database. I can get a single item using its ID. I can add an item, and I can update an item, and I can delete the item too. It's kind of the same thing that I repeat in all the other files. For the orders, the same thing. I can get orders. I can get the user orders. So based on the user ID, I can get the user orders. I can get a single order, and I can get the order items based on the order ID, and I can add an order, I can update an order, and I can delete it. That's all for this file. Let's continue. So this is the file that will help me create my payment intent, the Swift payment intent for the credit card payment part. So this is the function. I make a server call to create a payment intent. After that, I will use it to handle the card payment. So this is for the product file. I can get product by categories, but I can get a product by its subcategory. I can also get a single product by its ID. I can add a product, I can update a product, I can delete a product. And after that, I can also filter the product by a query, by categories, by the prices, and by the product ratings. So this is for the filter function. So that's all for this file. It's kind of simple. It's the same thing I repeat. So this for the reviews. I can get a review. I can get the reviews. I can get a product review based on the product ID. You can get the user review on the product. So I take the user ID and the product ID, and I return the review. I can get a single review, can add a review, can update it, and I can delete it. And the same thing for the users. I can get the users from the database. I can get a single user. I can update user. I can delete a user. And I can delete a user from the database, and I can delete it from the authentication database. And so this is for the database, and this is for the authentication. So here I need to make a server call, because you can delete a user from the client. So I need to make that operation from the server, and in the index file I export all those functions. So this is to help me. I can reuse them in any application where I want to use this API. So I can use it in the admin dashboard. I can use it in the mobile application. I can use it if I want to create a web application for that. So that's all. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for the next tutorials that are coming. In the next tutorials, I'm going to go to the apps folder, and we are going to see how the mobile application work.